cloudy Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey, California, around the United States Motorsport Championship.
The drivers are gridded up in the hot pits, ready to roll out for their warm-up laps. It's a nice, cold, chilly 52 degrees out here with a little bit of drizzle. So the drivers are going to have to make sure they get the tires all warmed up, their brakes warmed up, and more importantly, get their heads in the game. We have 3 classes for today's race. We have the GT class, touring cars, and the Sportsman. As usual, we have our standing starts in the United States Touring Car Championship, which makes it very exciting. We are live broadcasting. Laguna Seca is an 11-turn, 2.2-mile natural road course. Obviously, it has the infamous corkscrew, the 10-story drop from the top to the bottom. So, grab your cup of coffee. Let's get this race started. Today's participants, we have a Camaro of Ehsan Farkhunde. After him is the M4 of Doug Makashima in the GT class. On pole position in the touring class is Reza Arsham. Then we have a couple of Hyundai Genesis of Ken Kurtz and Ali Arsham. And beyond them, we have the Volvo of Tim Harper, followed by the BMW E90 of Seong Kim. In the Sportsman class, we have Andy Chittum in the orange Miata. He put it on the pole, followed by Tom Lepper in a Honda Civic. After Tom, we have Michael McColligan Civic, followed by Becky Arsham, also in a Civic. And rounding out the field is Marianne Engelke in the BMW E36. As I mentioned before, we have 3 classes. We have the GT class. They're the fast guys, if you will. And then followed by the touring cars. There's a balance of power in the United States Touring Car Championship, so it's a direct power to weight ratio. As you put more power down, you have to carry more weight. And then, of course, the ratios are better in the GT class, less so in the touring class, and, of course, the least amount of horsepower for the weight that you carry in the Sportsman. We have a few pretty dark clouds above us. Rain is not expected, but the amount of drizzle is picking up, so it'll definitely be a little bit for their tires to warm up. This is a sprint race format, so it's a 30-minute race. They're going to go basically wide open right out of the gate. No pit stops at all in the 30-minute race unless something happens, which automatically you'll be out of the race. So the cars are now rolling out. They're basically going to climb the hill, which is turn 1. Obviously, they're not going to be on the track. And, as they roll out, we can see that beautiful Camaro leading the field, followed by Doug Makashima's M4. That's a new car. In fact, both those cars are new to the series, so it'll be interesting to see their performance. Reza Arsham put his Civic on the pole position for the touring class. Gorgeous Civic. And then we have the Genesis following him. Tim Hunter's Volvo, Seong Kim in his BMW E90. They're going to do their best to warm up their tires. Pass on setting the pace to the field. Like I mentioned before, they're going to have a standing start. So once they get everything all warmed up, They will come to their positions as they qualified yesterday, and we'll get this race started. All right, cars headed up the hill. So they're going through turn 6 and about to hit the corkscrew. They're going to see the track for the first time today in this colder weather. It was a nice sunny day yesterday when they qualified. So they're going to get a good feel for how slick the track is for this morning. It'll mainly affect them for the first 2, maybe 3 laps until their slicks are up to speed. But once they're up to speed, they'll grip pretty well. As long as it doesn't rain, then the cold wouldn't affect it. In fact, it'll help it not overheat the tires, and they can push it that much more. Here they come down the main straightaway to take their positions on the grid. The grid here at Laguna Seca is a bit of an uphill towards the starter tower, so the first few have to be really careful once they set. They don't start rolling backwards, because that'll actually be a false start and they can get DQ'd or black flag. So drivers are basically doing last minute warm up on their tires, getting ready to roll. So front row is the GT class, the Camaro and the M4, followed by the Touring, and then last is the Sportsman. We're waiting for the flagger to throw the green flag. Everybody has taken their positions. There's a gap between the Touring cars and the Sportsman. Green, green, green. We have a start. Here we go. Everybody gets a good clean start. Tim Hunter spins the wheels on the Volvo. Seong Kim gets right by him. The Camaro takes the inside hole shot. He's able to stay ahead of the Doug Makishima. Reza did an excellent job pulling away with that front wheel drive. Followed by Ali Arsham. This is a father and son team, but no love lost here on a short 30-minute race. Ken Kurtz is staying right behind them in the second Genesis, followed by Seong Kim, who's closed the door. Now we have a gaggle of the Sportsman car. Tom Lepper got by Andy Chittum. Both of them got by the Volvo of Tim Hunter. Here they go into turn 3 and 4 complex. So we have tight racing for the first couple of laps, obviously, just because the gaps are going to be small and people are going to try to get by each other while the gaps are closed. So they're going up the hill towards turn 6, up the Ray Hall Straight towards the corkscrew. Down the turn 11. So we're about to get the first lap under our belt. The Camaro is still staying ahead of the M4. That thing sounds extremely vicious. The M4 is doing its best to keep up with that Camaro. And here we go with Reza Arsham leading the field on touring cars, followed by Ali Arsham and Ken Kurtz, Seong Kim, and we have Andy Chittum getting through the field and grabbing the lead in the Sportsman. Tom Lepper's going to do his best to not let that Miata get away. We have Marion going by the tower now, and followed by Becky Arsham in the yellow number 36 Civic. The field's getting a little bit spread out. Obviously, the GT cars have a lot more power, and on the straightaways they're able to easily pull away. Andy Chittum's doing a great job in that light Miata. Actually, he's leading the Sportsman class class, and was able to put Tim Hunter in between himself and second place in Sportsman. That'll make it real hard for Tom Lepper to catch up with him. So I think the first few laps, everybody's going to make sure that they get a good feel for their car and not have a DNF because of mechanicals. And different cars, because of their weights, have a effect on how quickly the tires come in. We have Reza Arsham that just went through the corkscrew, great looking Honda Civic, and Camaro is just really gapping the M4 now. Seong continues to lead, going down the straightaway, going to the end ready hairpin. Andy Chittum absolutely leveraging the lightness of that Miata to even get through the touring field to a certain point. That Miata does a really good job of kind of running away due to its weight. Obviously, Andy's a very talented driver. He's done multiple disciplines, and he's raced with the United States Touring Cars for multiple years. As you see the rest of the field streaming through, we have the third place Hyundai of Ken Kurtz going through the Andretti hairpin, followed by Seong Kim. Seong seems to be closing that gap. That is for a last spot on the podium. So this is going to be an interesting battle that's brewing in the for third place in touring cars. Seong was able to get around Tim Hunter at the start. Rear-wheel drive advantage, obviously, over the Volvo's front-wheel drive. The stand-in starts in the United States Touring Car Championship makes it very exciting. There's a lot of passing that gets done. So it's kind of a reaction time. A bit of a drag racing involved, if you will, right off the bat. We have Seong Kim heading up the hill towards a very quick turn 6. That turn you have to be really aware of your car and expand all the way to the edges. Seong's now going down the straightaway, and he's got basically a half a straightaway on Doug Makishima. I'm sure Doug's taking it easy on that car. It's a brand new car. It's debuting at Laguna Seca today. And so they're looking forward to shaking that car out and have it become more competitive as the season develops. Reza Arsham continues to also lead touring cars, and he's doing an excellent job of keeping about a quarter of a straightaway between himself and his dad, Ali Arsham, and now followed by the Miata. Andy's done a fantastic job of just running away from the rest of the Sportsman class. Ken Kurtz is keeping ahead of Seong. Seong is keeping him honest, and I think Tim's tires are finally coming in. I can see him picking up speed now. He did a great job going up the straightaway, closing the gap to the next car in front of him, the Civic of Tom Lepper. Michael McColligan goes through the start-stop-finish line, followed by Marian in the BMW E36. Is totally running away with this race. That car sounds so good. Very, very healthy Camaro. It's looking beautiful. So the leading GT cars are starting to lap some of the Sportsman class cars. Obviously, very big power to weight difference. Reza Arsham is actually doing a fantastic job. The GT cars are not that far ahead of him. He seems to be kind of almost hanging on to the tail end of that M4 as far as being able to visually see him from corner to corner. And he's definitely expanding the gap to Ali Arsham, who seems to be expanding the gap to Ken Kurtz. Seong Kim seems to actually be closing that gap some more. So there's about maybe a 100-yard difference between third and fourth place in touring class. Both cars sound very good and healthy. And here we have Tim Hunter passing the second place Sportsman. so he can stitch back up to the tail end of the touring cars. This would be interesting if it becomes a three-way battle for the podium. So job well done by everybody. No mechanicals, no crashes. Everybody's doing a good job as far as going around the track at a pretty decent pace here today. The cold weather makes the air that much more dense, and so these guys are going to be putting out monster horsepower, which is fantastic. And then of course the cooler air will also save their tires, so nobody's overheating it or the tires quote unquote getting greasy. So very low deg on the tires, especially on a sprint race, and then the cold air packing in all the oxygen molecules should give them just amazing horsepower here. They're going to be grinning under those helmets. Doug Makishima goes up the hill in the M4 in second position, while Efson is rounding out turn 4. And we have Becky Arsham going under the tower now. So now we have some of the touring cars that are going to be passing the back end of the field as well. So interclass racing, you have to be very aware. You have to kind of run your own race and yet at the same time not get into it with other classes as far as interclass racing. So Seong Kim is definitely closing the gap. He is now basically about 2 or 3 car lengths behind Ken Kurtz. That Genesis puts out more horsepower than the BMW, but BMW makes up for it as far as having a lighter footprint. So it's a smaller weight car compared to the Genesis. The more this race wears on, the more the tire degradation will come into play for that Genesis versus the BMW. So at this point, the BMW and the Genesis are nose to tail, and this is for the last podium position for this weekend in the touring class. Michael McColligan is in third place in the Sportsman class. Ahead of him is Tom Lepper, and of course leading the class is Andy Chittum in the orange Miata. We have Marion going up the hill in fourth place, and Doug Makishima's having to deal with some lap traffic, but he passes that no problem. Clean pass. And the racing continues. The distance between Doug Makishima and Reza Arsham seems to have stabilized. I don't think anybody's gaining or losing. And the distance between Reza and Ali Arsham seems to have also stabilized. I think at this point Reza is probably just managing the race, knowing that he's got the race in hand. I'm sure his crew is telling him just to basically set a pace that he's comfortable with. And Andy seems to be doing the same thing, while the race between Ken Kurtz and Seong Kim is absolutely heated up. These guys are nose to tail, going up the straightaway, past the flagger, and Seong is trying to set up Ken, and Ken took a very defensive line, just positioned his car in the middle of the track, which will make it very hard for Seong to get by him. Seong locks up going into turn 2. This is the Andretti hairpin, lifts up the inside wheel, and he is on it. Seong's got the bit between his teeth. He's definitely wanting to get by Ken in a heartbeat, in a hurry, so he can get potentially at Ali. Ali would potentially at some point have the same issues that Ken will as far as a heavy car tire degradation. So we have a couple of places for him to set up Ken for a pass. Obviously the classic one is coming into turn 11. The other one is going into Mario Andretti hairpin on turn 2. So up the hill they go. This is turn 5. Very fast left-hander. Plenty of runway on the side, on the right side, to open up the steering wheel and get the maximum speed out of it. Up in turn 6, that's an extremely fast turn. If you get that turned right, it actually rewards you going up to the corkscrew, which is another possible place for a pass. Yeah, Marion down the straightaway, putting another lap under her belt, and we have Ali Arsham going by. This is in second place for touring, and as we come to turn 10. Ken and Song are again nose to tail, coming into turn 11. See if they can outbrake. Anybody can outbrake another one? No, they cannot. They continue to be nose to tail. I don't think you can get any closer than this. And Song goes on the side, and he gets by Ken on the straightaway. That was a perfect setup on that turn 11. He got more speed coming out of that turn, and there wasn't a whole lot Ken could do. I think his tires are just screaming at him at this point. And as you can see, immediately Song is able to pull a few car lengths on him, which is good because that'll take the pressure off. He doesn't have to drive his mirrors. So now he can go head down and start to catch up with Ali Arsham for the second place on the podium. So Ken Kurtz at this point is going to be dealing with a heavy car and spent tires and trying to figure out a way to get by Kim Song. If he can potentially pressure him into a mistake, that'd be a good way of doing it. Because this race is going by pretty quick, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the race. So there you got the last 12 minutes or so left. So at this point, these guys are not going to care too much about tires anymore. It's going to be just maximum effort, push to get the most out of their cars and try to podium. Obviously, it's a long season. This is only race 2. So they have to also keep in mind as far as the points and how they fare in the championship.
Watch the show that's about real car builds, road trips to meet real legends, real garage projects, real tool reviews, and lots of real fun along the way. Watch Real Garage with Andy. Just visit YouTube and search for Real Garage with Andy.
Ali Arsham really turned up the wick. He actually visually is now closing on Reza Arsham. There are probably about 8 minutes left in this race, as the leading Camaro GT of Ehsan is leading the GT class. Now the classes are all very jumbled up, and Andy Chittum is now coming to lap some of the tail enders on the Sportsman class as well. So he's flying in his Miata. That car has not dropped off. Seong Kim is continuing to do an excellent job holding third place. And Ken is doing his great job of hanging on to fourth place and not letting Tim get any closer to that. So we have Tim Hunter that is now has a straight shot to get to Ken, followed by Tom Lepper in second position, followed by Marianne in the BMW E36. Going to the Andretti hairpin, that smaller, more nimble Civic is actually giving the Volvo that's heavier a bit of a hard time. Double apex turn, so you really need to set up for that exit more than the entry into the first turn. We have Reza coming into turn 11 to complete another lap, continues to lead touring cars. They built that car 2 years ago and debuted it at SEMA in the Konig booth. Konig Wheels is one of the sponsors to that team. They make amazing wheels. I believe he has the Flowforks wheels on that car particularly, and I believe now the Konig even puts out forged wheels, which I'm sure at some point the team is going to switch to and get even faster. Andy Chittum continues to look very strong, putting another lap under his belt past the start-finish line. He has the field completely covered today. Nobody's going to touch Andy. Seong Kim is doing a great job in that BMW E90. He has definitely gotten away from Ken Kurtz now, who is going by Becky Arsham, 2 different classes. Becky is in the Sportsman class. We have no less than 2 females racing in the Sportsman class today, Becky Arsham and Marianne Engelke. One in the front-wheel drive Civic, the other one in the rear-wheel drive BMW E36. That's what's neat about United States Touring Car Championship. These are street-based cars. They all start life as a street car, and then they get gutted and caged and all the safety equipment put in. Of course, like I mentioned before, it's a power-to-weight ratio, so as you put more power out, then you have to adjust your weight accordingly. So it's not necessarily about making a ton of horsepower. It's about having that fine balance. And obviously different car makes, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, turbocharged, etc. And so it makes for very interesting racing. Lots of strategy comes into it. So we have the white flag out. The GT car just took the white flag, so this is the last lap. There are no active battles, if you will, for any positions. I think everybody is pretty settled. Reza has the race in hand. I think slowed down on purpose to let the leading GT get by. Now he has to do one less lap. That was pretty smart of him. So now basically gives Ali Arsham less than a lap to close that gap, which is basically a straightaway. And your leader in Sportsman, Andy Chittum, just took the white flag as well, so he's on his last lap. Your 3rd place in touring just goes under the flagger as well, followed by Ken Kurtz in the 4th place in touring. And we have Tim Hunter coming through in 5th place in touring, followed by Tom Lepper in the Civic in 2nd place in Sportsman. So they're all taking the white flag now. And we have Doug Makashima in the 2nd place in GT taking his white flag, followed by Becky Arsham in the Civic in the Sportsman class, so she took the white flag. This is it, folks. We are closing out this race. We have your leading GT car coming through, and he's going to be taking the checkered flag. There he goes. Your winner is Ehsan Faroukhande. And in 1st place in touring, you have Reza Arsham, with Ali Arsham absolutely closing that gap. He had it completely sideways through turn 11. He did his best to catch up Reza, but I think at that point Reza was just egging his dad on and just messing with him. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this race. Your winners in the GT class are Ehsan Faroukhande, followed by Doug Makashima. Your winner in GT is Reza Arsham, followed by Ali Arsham and Seong Kim. And your winner in Sportsman is Andy Chittum in the orange Miata, followed by Tom Lepper, who's actually yet to take the checkered. He's coming around. So let's make sure that that's the case. And as of right now, the 3rd place belongs to Michael McColligan with his colorful Civic. And Kurtz take the flag, and we have Tom Lepper still fighting the Volvo. Interclass racing, but I think they're just having fun at this point. They're about to take the checkered flag, and Tom Lepper does get 2nd place in Sportsman. Doug Makashima takes his checkered flag, so he secures 2nd place in GT as well. So we're just basically waiting at this point for Michael McColligan to take the flag to secure 3rd place in Sportsman, and we would have our podium completed. Rounding out turn 11 for the last time is Becky Arsham. That entire family, the Arshams, race. The daughter, Nikki Arsham, races as well. In fact, she is the co-driver with her mom, Becky. So last race, Enduro race, they raced together. And Marianne takes the checkered flag also. And that is your race, folks. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and join us again at the next round.